Hello, what's going up, guys? It's Phil, and welcome back to my workbench again. Actually, this is not a workbench, this is just me working on the floor. As you can tell, I was taking a breather from being with my son, and my wife's got him at the moment, so this is what I've been working on this morning, because I was watching my son, and decided to work on this a little bit in between while he was taking a nap. So, this is what's been going on lately. As you can tell, I got a mess going. I started off with the cockpit, which, of course, this is the Eduard F6F-5 Hellcat, the weekend edition. Let me show you the box here. And in case you're wondering, I usually, as you already know, usually in front of the camera, but not today. I'm behind it because I'm working on things, as you can tell here. Don't worry about the lighting. It's relatively harmless. It's not hot, even though the weather sucks. Excuse me. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Here's the cockpit right here. Hopefully, I don't want to shove it in your face. I just finished it up around the afternoon in between getting laundry done, walking my son around, getting him to nap a little bit. He is a hyper little guy. So, well, he is my son. We'll not get into that. Now, as for the cockpit, the interior of the cockpit itself, I used Tester's interior green from the acrylic line. Usually I would use green zinc chromate like I would for Corsair or a couple other kits, or even the P51, which I'm not very fond of. But in this case, it looked closer to the cockpit green that was used by Grumman, in my opinion. So I sprayed that here. Here's the inside. This, like I said, this is the Eduard kit. This is a really, really nice kit. I mean, it's sweet, and everything is out of the box so far. The harness that I'm going to be using, the difference between a weekend and Profi Pack, as I said in the last video, 40-wedge parts. Well, I'm building this out of the box. I don't feel like doing that, so for the harness, I actually have a spare a spare Tamiya decal I'll be using for the seat, since it's only 148. I'm not going to go that far, and like I said, it's out of the box. It's great out of the box, but this is what I got so far. I'll be gluing the cockpit in. I was just going to remember to make sure I glue the tail wheel in first before the cockpit. And I also got the engine done up this morning. This is the Pratt & Whitney engine, that's the radial engine. This is actually used by a lot of the naval aircraft during that time. Well, or the naval fighter aircraft, I should say. This is also a nice kit. Nice little part. Everything went together nicely. Excuse me. For the metallic areas, I used polyscale, an old polyscale oxidized aluminum from my collection paint jar, which is in still remarkable condition. For the tops, I used aluminum. Crankcase itself, I think that's crankcase. I used neutral gray, and I applied everything with a black wash with oil paint and lighter fluid. And I also used, for dry brushing, neutral gray from the Tester's acrylic line, as you can see here. And this is the result I got. It's nice to step back into World War II Pacific, which is what I'm doing. And like I said, everything went together nicely. I followed everything I needed for the reference material. Speaking of reference material, let me put these back in the plastic. Patera will be next. That's going to be pretty simple. Aluminum, blue, black, yellow. You get the picture. This is actually all the plastic from the Eduard kit. If you look closely, this kit is actually, I think, is much better than the Hasegawa. The describing is well done. It's not petite or weak. You can get away with a primer coat, but it's very well executed. One thing, as I said before, never underestimate anything from Czech Republic, and this is definitely one of them. For references, don't mind my foot, I got the old Hellcat book from Crown Publishing, which was done by, who did this one? The illustrations were done by Riku Watanabe, a well-known illustrator, and the text was done by David Anderton. If you can find this book on Amazon, get it. It's a great book. Doesn't matter, new, used. This is actually from my uncle's collection that he passed on to me. I'm hoping I can find all the Crown books. This is a great pictorial history book between the artwork and the writing about the aircraft itself, how it came to be, its successor, and it also talks about its combat record, a little bit about how important of a role it was during World War II, and it talks about the Grumman factory out in Bethpage, New York, which is over on Long Island. My other reference is what I call the Old Testament of reference books, Detail and Scale. This was done by Bert Kinsey. He did a whole series of these, and much like the walk-around for Squadron, if you can find it, get it, because the pictures are in here are very, very remarkable. This is actually the revised edition. I never had the original. But from beginning, soup to nuts, beginning to end, this is what you got right here. Color pictures, black and white. Matter of fact, let's see if I can find there's a prototype. If I can find, that's for the engine there. This is the cockpit detail right here. As you can tell, that's why I did what I did. The only thing I really got to do is I got clear parts here. I got to dip these in future. They give you two kinds. One for the Dash 3, one for the Dash 5. Save them because they'll come in handy, especially if you break one. Just dip these in future and then I'll be masking them. Unfortunately, the scribing is actually pretty rugged and kind of it's got edge to them, much like the Tamiya canopies. So a little bit of masking tape, a sharp knife, and some patience, as well as some careful cutting. Problem solved. The liquid cement, mostly use this for the cockpit, the 10X7R. As I said before, it's my favorite liquid cement now has been the Tamiya Extra Thin right here. This is become my new go-to cement. I got about 3 bottles of these. It's a little more of a hot formula along the lines of the Testors, one, but it works very, very well. And somebody asked what do you mean by hot formula. It softens a little bit. Hey, that's where it went. Finally, found my Aztec Testors Model Master Acryl and Polyscale thinner. I was using the Tamiya thinner for a little while for the cockpit and the metallic parts, and this works well with anything except for Polyscale, because Polyscale's a bitch to begin with. Any crap. Some lighter fluid, of course. Had to pick up a new sanding stick from the beauty supply store. Of course, ladies looked at me like I was crazy. I just told them I like to work on women's nails. They looked at me kind of funny. Said, okay, whatever you want. Clippers. Now, but as you can tell, this is what's going to be going on. Now, I'm still debating. As you can tell, my pile of life color paints. Now, I actually have a couple of World War II colors I will be using from the life color. As soon as I find them. They're in here somewhere. I'll dig them out. This is the story of my life. I'm always looking for things. And, no, that's white. Now the zero I will be doing, here we are, Glossy Sea Blue. This will be the Gloss Blue overall that I am going to be using on the Hellcat. After I get the clear coat on the Hellcat canopy, I got to spray it interior green. Make sure it's masked, of course. Spray an interior green, then go over with the Glossy Blue, because I will be doing with these decals here. And these are old microscale from my uncle. Once again, these are my uncle's collection, passed them on to me. My uncle is awesome. Anyway, this is what I'll be doing. I'll be working on Lieutenant Carl Brown's F6F Hellcat. Tell cat's teeth. They're a little yellowed, but I can only stick them on the window for a week. And I also got a clear decal film. They seem a little brittle. There's the 7, there's the 3. This is Paper Doll. This is the paper doll that was flown by Carl Brown during World War II. I think it was a Battle of the Philippine Sea. And this is what I will be going with. Originally, I was going to use the Vallejo, but really not in the mood for doing it. Of course, my glasses. Actually, I use some cheapo Walmart magnifying glasses because I don't really want to swallow my pride and head over to the optometrist to get a new pair. But this is the extent of what I've been doing so far. Thinner. But I'm glad I found that, but I really don't need it. However, since I'm using the Life Color, I will be going with this from Life Color. Unfortunately, my source for Life Color is no longer around in Colonia because of the Hop Shop Colonia is closed. Airbrushing, of course, will always be Badger 350 since it's a single color subject. When I build the other Hellcat, I will be using this one to test my skills with the tricolor scheme. But we'll explain that for another day. This is the extent of what I'm doing for now. And as you tell, I got to clean up a little bit. But Now you know what I'm up to. I will keep everybody in progress. I will talk about the fit and the detail and everything I've been doing so far. This is all I got for now, so I will talk to you guys again soon. Happy modeling. Take it easy. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them or ask anything else on what I'm doing with this kit. All right? Have fun. Take it easy.